guys, welcome to Kim with Kim. I'm Kim, and today is more of again, thoughts of my reality, some political clarity. A lot's going on right now, height of hurricane season. But really, I wanted to talk about like right now, Milton's in the Gulf. Helene just passed a couple, no, almost 2 weeks ago, and the damage that we saw from Helene is so sad. Now Milton's there building up strength and just praying for the best. But I feel like there's such a lack of empathy when it comes to these evacuation orders, because as much as people are like, oh, you need to evacuate, and if you're in an evacuation zone, absolutely evacuate. But for example, the mayor in Tampa is saying if you don't evacuate, you will die. She's not wrong for that. They cannot go, and I think she's being as extreme as she needs to be for this storm. I'll put it that way. I think she's being as extreme as she needs to be for this storm. But I think everyone like saying like, oh my god, like why won't you evacuate? Like these people are idiots and like stuff like that, like conversations like that. More than half of Americans cannot afford an unexpected expense of $500. That's sad when you think about a time like this where you don't really have a choice. So some people, even if they do evacuate, what are they going to do? Where are they going to go? If you evacuate, that costs money. Preparing for the storm costs money. More than half of Americans don't have the money to even be prepared, yet alone evacuate. Like, I think the conversation needs to be a little nicer. Like, what is in place for people who need to safely evacuate and don't have the affordability for it? Or if they've evacuated in the past and lost a bunch of money, and now boom, I don't know if I should evacuate now because that last time I evacuated, I lost $2,000. Like, that is a lot of money for people to put on the line, and a lot of people don't have it. There are not enough options that are financially, don't have a financial burden with them in these decisions. Preparing for the storm is expensive. Choosing to evacuate is expensive. Availability is also not there. Like, okay, you can evacuate, but where are you going to go? You got to go find a hotel room. Oh, all the hotel rooms are full. So now what? Oh, even if you evacuate and you go to your friend's house, okay, well, thank God if you have friends or family that you can evacuate to that are in a safe zone. You have to spend money to get there. You're taking your supplies. Like, I just think when we're thinking about this, more than half of Americans cannot afford a $500 unexpected expense. This is an unexpected expense. And if Helene just passed and maybe someone tapped out on their unexpected expenses, there needs to be more that is done when it comes to helping people. And the fact that 2 weeks ago, when it was brought up to increase FEMA's spending for disaster relief, all of these Republican senators did not vote on it. These senators and in Congress, representatives, like all of these Republicans did not vote to increase spending for FEMA. And then you hear language of Trump saying things like, oh, well, they spent all of the FEMA money overseas. That's not the same budget. That's not how the budget is split up. So, just to put some political clarity out there, I'll probably do another video on that, but that's just not how it works. So all of these Republicans that are up for re-election that didn't vote for disaster relief and, giving more money to FEMA, and now these storms are coming back to back, and they're trying to make it seem like, oh, well, these states don't have enough help. FEMA can only move so fast. Relief can only move so fast based on the spending that they have. Had these spending been increased when it was asked for it, maybe help would be easier, because now the language that's out is mixed and a lot of it is untrue. But I just think when people are speaking about evacuations or being prepared or relief, like, you need to think about money. You need to think about it in terms of financial, like people's financials, like your well-being, but also what can someone afford as part of their well-being. If someone chooses to evacuate and they're out $2,000 and then they can't get back and there's no relief for them, there's no safe place for them to evacuate that doesn't cost them money, that's why some people don't evacuate. So obviously, you know, like I said, praying for the best outcome, because this is a scary situation. It always is. But I just think people need to be a little more conscious and kind in this time, because, you know, like I said, it's a scary time. But everything you're doing, make sure you're staying calm, make sure you're checking on your loved ones, make sure you're being there, you're being present, doing the best you can do. And, you know, remember, everything you do it for you. Okay? Thank you guys so much for being here. Like, share, subscribe. I will check back. I will be doing more. But thank you guys so much for being here. Bye.